Alright, hey, what's up? This is Sal from Salad Bowl Gaming, and I'm bringing you another video on character creation and how to start out in ESO. If you watched my last episode, I gave pretty, in my opinion, the single most best advice that there is. I'm going to put a link for that down below so you can see what it is. But for this one, the next step, let's say you've chosen the role you want to play, the character you want to play. The next step is to actually create that character. Now, as you can see here, I have an orc. Race, I play Daggerfall Covenant, and I have an orc. I've chosen to play a sorcerer. I want to make a stam sorc. I made one prior, but I realized that it didn't match up. My original, I made a Breton stam sorc, but that didn't match up because if you look down here, it says Magicka Recovery, Light Armor, all that stuff. I want this for PvP. You don't, in this meta, you don't wear light armor in PvP. You can, but I like the tankiness of heavy armor. So I'm picking an orc this time for health regeneration, healing received, stamina, melee attacks, because I'm going to be a stamina based, which is melee attacks. I'm going to be a sorc. Because I think they're fun. I want to make one, and then you go through and you make all your guy, how you want him to look, all that stuff. Actually, I wanted, where's that? I wanted a beard. Where's his beard? Let me put that on. Oh, is that it? Is that the beard I want? Yeah, that's the beard I want. So this isn't what he's gonna. This isn't at all what he's gonna look like. If you want to see more of what I'm gonna make him look like, it's gonna be more of a heavy armor based. He's not gonna wear orc armor. I don't like the orc style, but I mean he's gonna wear heavy armor. But I'm making a sorc. As you can see, his name is Raspberry Vinaigrette. So right now, after you've picked what you want, the next thing to do is hit create. So it gives you this option. I can't remember if this option is in here if you've already, if you haven't created a character, if this is your first time going through it. I can't remember if this option is in here. But I have the option to either play through the Wailing Prison, which is the kind of tutorial area, or skip it, and it gives me up to level 3, gives me a couple skill points, gives me all of that. But I personally, this is, I guess, tip number 1 or good thing to know. Personally, I think that you should play through it every single time, and I think you should get to at least level 3 or level 4 or 5 if you have the ability to, the patience to just grind in the Wailing Prison, because the Wailing Prison is just a plethora of different places to get more. I guess get more. I don't know how you want to put it. Experience, weapons. You can find all the weapons you need. But I recommend playing through it. So what I'm going to do is hit E here, and I'm going to let this load through. And basically what I'm going to do in here is level up to 4 or 5. I'm going to do that, and I will basically I'll come back to the video after I have done that. And I'll explain why once I get to the other side. It'll make more sense for those new people. Why? So I'll be right back. So this is basically the end of, actually it is the end of the Wailing Prison, the beginning. You can see here I'm level 4. I managed to get up that high. I have 3 stamina points, and I have 1 of each of the skill lines in my bar. The reason for this is because whenever you turn a quest in, whenever you get experience, the experience that you gain from doing that will be applied to that line, that skill line. So if I have, as long as it's active, if it's in your active bar, so I have 1 of each. So as you can see, Dark Magic is 5. Storm Calling is a little bit higher because that's the first one I put in. Like Mage's Fury is now level 4. This one is level 2, and this one's level 3. You can see which order I actually put them on my bar as I leveled up. But you want to have 1 of each of your skill line, because when you get to the, let's say you only like the 1 skill line. Let's say you only like Storm Calling, that skill line. You fill up your bar with skill line, you get that to level 50 real fast, and all of a sudden you get to end game content, and somebody's like, "Hey, why don't you have this this conjured ward? Why don't you use bound armor?" Well, I didn't level Daedric summoning, so I can't use it. Now I have to go back and I have to grind out and start leveling that again. That's the last thing you want to do when you get to level 50, start doing endgame content. Re-grinding? Nobody wants to do that. So, get to a point where you have one of each in your bar. Now, the weapon I have on me is a two-hander. So my two-hander is level 4. I could have put points into here, but I don't need to at the moment. I don't have that necessity. Now I will start doing that because I have one of each already. One of these my class skill lines already in there. So now I'll probably put critical charge in there because I like a gap closer. And then when I turn in quest, because if you don't already know this, in Elder Scrolls Online, you don't just get 6 abilities at a time. You get 12. So you get 5 on this bar plus an ultimate, which an ultimate is just a big ability that does a lot of damage. And then you get the ability to bar swap. Bar swap, you can have either the same type of weapon, so I could either put another two-hander, I could put dual wield, I could put sword and board, bow. I'm going to put bow on my other bar, and then I can put 6 all new abilities, so 5 standard and 1 new ultimate. So I can have 2 ultimate abilities and 10 standard abilities on my bar, on my 2 bars at any given point. Also, with a Sork, you have an ultimate called Overcharge. What that does, let me pull it up here. Overload, my bad, sorry. I know somebody's going to try and correct me in the comments, but it's Overload. So basically what that does is it gives you a whole new bar. So you get not only 10 standard and 2 ultimate, you get 15 standard and 3 ultimate. So you get this ability to cast more stuff, which I do recommend putting that on your bar if you are a Sork. But I just wanted to go over that quickly, because one thing that I wish I had known when I started was that right there, even if I will probably, on this character, I will never probably use Daedric Summoning, that skill line. But I have, as you can see, in my number 3 slot, I have Summon Unstable Familiar. I have that there. The reason for that is so that I can have that line if I later on, if I want it, maybe, who knows. So I'll have it. When I go to turn in quests, I will, until I get until I hit level 15 and get my second bar, I will switch out my weapon for a bow so that I can start leveling up my bow with my two-hander so that one isn't lacking more than the other. Now, armor. Armor works the same way. I recommend leveling all of them. As you progress in the game, there are guilds. There's the Fighters Guild, the Mages Guild, and the Undaunted Guild. Undaunted Guild has a passive that actually allows you to get more health, stamina, and magicka if you have what's called 511. So you get 1%, or you get 2% per type of armor that you have on. So if you have 5 heavy, 1 light, 1 medium, you get an extra 6% health, extra 6% magicka, and extra 6% stamina all the time. So what you want to do is you want to level these up. Now if I come over here to my dude here, as you can see, I didn't pick up a lot of armor in here. I don't think I was in here long enough, but sometimes I will be able to pick up one of everything. So I have Homespun Gloves, which is light, and I have Iron Sabatons of Health, which is heavy. So right now I'm going to level up light and heavy all at the same time. If I had gotten a medium piece as well, I could have leveled up all 3 types at the same time. So what you kind of want to do is basically try and level up everything as you're going through it. It's a lot easier than it sounds. Once you get into the flow of it and get everything going, you'll understand more. But one of the main reasons why I didn't show you this whole grinding process right here is because I'm not one of those people that like to. If you want to see how this all works, there's a lot of first 20 minutes of gameplay or first hour of gameplay videos, and that's not what this is for. So if you want to see how they went through the Wailing Prison, go ahead, look up those videos, look up first hour of ESO gameplay, and there's probably a crap ton of them. But look those up if you want to. I'm not a spoiler of the game content because I think that this game has a lot to offer, and I don't think you get enough out of it. I don't think you get the same out of it if you've already seen it. With that being said, I want to reiterate something that I'd said in my first video is play the game all the way through to see the full beauty of this game, at least on one character. You can do it on multiple. I don't recommend doing it on multiple, but at least on one character, play it all the way through. You will enjoy this game a lot more if you take your time with it. Don't rush through it. Don't try and get to end game content. I mean, if that's your thing, if that's what you want to do, go ahead, have at it. Obviously I can't stop you. I have no ability to stop you with that, but my recommendation is to play through it. Quests, PvE, grinding, all of that, so that you have a more filled love for the game. Yeah, so also, in this beginning portion, loot everything. I recommend you being an ESO Plus member, not from the beginning. Play it till at least level 15 so that you can get your second bar before you get an ESO Plus, so that you can see what it's like. You might not like it, whatever the different circumstances are, but I recommend ESO Plus for 2 reasons. The material bag and the extra 10% experience that you get constant all the time. So the material bag is for if you want to become a crafter. If you want to be one of those people that crafts everything from your potions to your food to your armor, weapons, whatever. If you want to craft it, and now there's house stuff, which you have to be master crafters, I think, for all of it to even craft house stuff. But if you want to be that type of person that crafts things, I recommend deconning everything that you pick up in the material bag so that you don't take up actual inventory space for materials. If you deconstruct everything, you will level up your everything. So if you deconstruct a light armor, you will level up your light armor faster than making stuff. Also, a good tidbit is, if you have a friend that plays, have them make stuff, because if you deconstruct other people's stuff, it actually levels up that skill line faster. So if you make it and then deconstruct it, it won't really level it up. But if, say, your buddy makes you 100 daggers and you deconstruct those 100 daggers, it'll take you up 5-6 levels at a time. So that's one thing that I recommend. So yeah, loot everything, decon, sell. If you play this game all the way through to Cadwell's Gold, you will probably make somewhere around 400,000 gold in that playthrough, doing dungeons and all that. So that's one reason why I recommend it, is the gold that you will get from it, from quest lines, from deconstructing, selling, all of that. But yeah, that's a couple things that I wish somebody had told me. The skill lines in your active bar and the deconstructing. I wish somebody had told me that. There's going to be more videos as far as character creation goes. I'm going to be leveling this guy up, and I think I'm going to level him up to 15, and then I'll have another video on that the transition to level 15 and things like that. Yeah, if this was informational, if you liked what you saw, give me a like, give me a subscribe. There will be more videos, so stay tuned.